Another beautiful evening on Pittsburgh's historic South Side. Friday night lights in effect this evening at Highmark Stadium, but of a different variety. It's USL Championship Soccer, as for the first time ever, Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club takes on Loudoun United Football Club. These two squads, one in the playoffs in Pittsburgh, one out of the playoffs in Loudoun. They collide here on the South Shore. I'm Matt Geico alongside Paul Child and Gene Klein. We're happy to be with you again for this Friday evening special. The Hounds coming off an up and down week, but they're hoping a return to the friendly confines where they're unbeaten this year can get them back on track. Here are your Eastern Conference standings. Pittsburgh last week defeated New York Red Bulls 2. That's a feather in their cap big time, 2-1 before falling 5-0 to North Carolina FC, ending a 5-match win streak. But Paul Child, one of the reasons the Hounds have kept their winning ways going in this month of August has been the set piece aspect of their offense. Bernardo Forbes has set up 2 of their 3 corner kick goals this month. How important has that been for them to get their attack going and sustained?
Well, it's super important, Matt. You know, when they start doing it, they practice those set pieces all the time, and I'm sure that Forbes is knowing where exactly he wants the ball to be and the players on the other end of it. So it's something you work on every day of practice, and it's finally nice to see them starting to click and really working, you know.
Forbes also on pace to become the first Hound since Matt Dahlman in 2013 with double-digit assists in the season. So we'll look for that, look for more from number 11 tonight. As for Loudoun United, head coach Ryan Martin says this under-17 generation in the DC United system is special. Gene Klein, and one of those special players is Griffin Yao. 3 goals in 9 games at this level at just age 16.
Yeah, there are 4 players from the under-17 academy team that are in the 18 tonight, Matt, and Griffin Yao is really a special player. He's really emerged as one of the stalwarts for our under-17 youth national team, which is on their way to the World Cup in Brazil at the end of October. So we're looking forward to seeing him.
A lot of young talent on the field tonight for Loudoun United. As always, the Hounds, of course, bring their staunch, unbeaten home record into this one, 7-0-5, one of just 3 teams in the entire USL Championship yet to lose at home. Kickoff coming up on ESPN+.
How do you turn you have cancer into you had cancer? You have us. Which means you have CAR T-cell therapy, your own nurse navigator, innovative surgery, a panel of pioneers. Everything it takes to help more patients turn you have cancer into you had cancer. If you have cancer, you have us. The AHN Cancer Institute.
The Riverhounds are looking to stay unbeaten at Highmark Stadium when they return to Pittsburgh on Saturday, September 7th. It's college and back-to-school night when the Hounds take on Louisville City FC in a 7 p.m. match. The first 1,000 fans will receive free Thunder Sticks, courtesy of Image 360. Gates open at 5:30, dollar beers until kickoff. Find out more at riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
Explore a world of music on WQED.
Explore sweater sessions on WQED.
Explore educational opportunities.
Explore science.
Explore early childhood learning.
Explore Nebby on WQED.
Explore the power of the arts.
Explore Pittsburgh Eats.
Explore diversity on WQED.
Coming off just their 4th loss of the year last time out, can the Hounds rebound? We're about to find out this evening on ESPN+. I'm Matt Geico, along with Paul Child and Gene Klein. We're here ready to present to you the first ever matchup between these two sides in the Eastern Conference for second-year Riverhounds boss Bob Lilly. Here's the starting 11, and you'll notice a name that's not on the 11, not on the 18 even. Thomas von Kiesel out, suspended due to the red card sustained last Saturday at North Carolina. So, well, the good thing is, Gene, they've gone with 4 in the back before, so it's not like it's anything foreign to this squad.
No, it really isn't, Matt. I mean, they're very familiar lineup, and I think Bob Lilly has no problem replacing a few players. I know he's been very pleased with their depth. You have Greenspan and Adewale who are taking up the center back spots. Ryan James and Dover. Adewale will be plugged in there somewhere, but no real issues.
Adewale now the Hounds leader in minutes and games played and started. For Ryan Martin and Loudoun United, well, the Hounds have one player who's 22. That's Robbie Mertz in the starting 11. Loudoun has 5, 22 or younger. We mentioned the teenager Yao Paul. So much like against Swope Park a couple of weeks ago, a chance to take advantage maybe of some inexperience for Pittsburgh.
I think so. I think this is obviously it's a comeback game for the Hounds. Every team go through those where they're doing really well and then just get beat badly. This is a great game for the Hounds to really jump right back into the race again.
Well, keep in mind, Pittsburgh is 9-2-1 since June 1st, so no team in the Eastern Conference has a better form over that time span. As you take a look at Ryan Martin, who took over right at the end of May, and Bob Lilly, who has helped transform this team. They've lost just 4 times at home under him, and not in more than a calendar year, as we kick it off from Highmark Stadium under those Friday night lights in Pittsburgh. Our lone Friday night match of the year, Hounds in the black and the gold, and Loudoun in the predominantly red kits. Kyle Morton hops out in the pink get-up tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Out. Yeah, it does. It matches the Hawaiian shirt motif espoused by the Steel Army behind him. This is Supporters Week in the USL Championships. I didn't want to give the Army a shout. Headed up by Maria Petrollo, who had a nice feature about her on USLChampionship.com, so take a look at that. Morton handles again. Kyle Morton, the 25-year-old native of Philadelphia. He'll play this one himself. He suffered his first loss last time out since March. It had been a while since he tasted defeat. Just a tough one for the Hounds on 2 days rest after beating the top of the table Red Bulls against North Carolina, a team that's on the push. They gave up 1 goal before the half. That was the Thomas Bunke Azil red card foul in the penalty area, and then down to 10 men on weary legs. It got out of hand, 5-0 for North Carolina. So Pittsburgh, that's the last time they were on the pitch. They've waited 5 days to get back out here. They're eager to get back out here, are the Hounds.
Yeah, Loudoun keeps trying to thumping these balls down back into the Hounds' end, and now the Hounds finally getting into their end of the field, and here come Loudoun again, trying to get these quick breakaways, long passes, trying to get on the end of it.
Loudoun United plays out of Leesburg, Virginia. They just opened their much-anticipated Segra Field a few weeks ago. They played 3 in a row at Segra Field, but didn't get a win. They tied 3-3 and then lost to Ottawa and to Charleston. They've had their struggles against the playoff teams this year. As Loudoun United, the development squad of DC United, which of course has Dave Casper, the first Hounds GM ever 20 years ago, as its GM.
We hope Dave is tuning in for this one tonight and maybe sitting back and watching this game with a nice cold Orange City. So
that'd be appropriate.
Yeah, or as we say in the Bergen.
I think you just drink champagne now.
Hey.
Well, he's in wine country down there.
That's true, right?
So
yeah.
It might be something different.
Yeah, especially Leesburg's not too far from that wine.
Exactly.
Good opportunity for Loudoun right now, going out wide with the ball, looking for this cross in. Oh, straight to the keeper. Yeah.
Sails into Morton. Loudoun has gotten its offense going recently. In its past 4, it has a 2-goal game, a 3-goal game. Loudoun scored 30 on the year. That's allowed 39. The Hounds have scored 43, one of the top offensive clubs in the league. And, well, until last week, the defensive record was pretty sterling. Even so, they're at a plus 15 in terms of goal differential. As this is headed forward by Adewale. Kevin Kerr, who sat out last match, gets the benefit of the call there from head referee Chris Ruska. Ruska assisted by Michael Nickerson and Taylor Bombalski this evening. Kervin Moon is the 4th. Mertz, he is that 22-year-old I mentioned. He'd be the elder man for a lot of these Loudoun players. It's been a theme recently, Pittsburgh taking on some of these development sides. Swope Park, last time we saw them here, was a 3-2 Hounds win in a thriller. It was the highest combined scoring match of the year at Highmark.
And we talked about it at Swope Park, Matt. Just different philosophies for what the USL clubs are doing, especially if they're affiliated with the MLS. And obviously DC United relying heavily on their academy, just as Swope Park Rangers was. And we see some really talented young players out there who have spent time in the academy teams, but also spent time with our U.S. Youth national teams. And as we said in the pregame, Griffin Yao is one of the key guys that we're looking forward to seeing at the Under-17 World Cup.
Bouncing ball back to Morton, volleyed through, and now Forbes sends Jordan Dover away. Dover to Nico Brett, the Hounds leading goal man, lofts it in. Dos Santos is in it, he's onside, and he scores! Steven Dos Santos, the Hounds have an early one. Into the river we dive. Steven Dos Santos, his 7th of the year.
I think everybody stopped playing right there, Matt. They thought Dos Santos was offside, and he wasn't offside, and he was standing all alone. I think he surprised himself when he got the ball. But what a composed effort and goal from Dos Santos, just coolly slotting it.
Slot home did very well to bring it down too, with the ball over top, as we see here in the replay.
Yeah, everybody kind of like stopped. He's got to be offside, but nobody even was picking him up. So, boy, those are nice when you can get them.
It looked like Connor Presley here on the backside kept him onside.
Yeah.
But the Loudoun back line was looking around. They were waiting for that flag to go up. It didn't.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I thought of, Matt, because you just mentioned the different groups, and it was very similar to Swope Park a couple weeks ago, where they played very well for most of the game, but they had a tendency with their inexperience showed, and switched off for a second, and the Riverhounds kept playing and were able to take them. And we scored an early goal against Swope Park a few weeks ago. So we'll see if they can come back and still be into the game.
Nico Brett gets his 3rd assist of the year. Continues to pile up not just the goals, but also the points.
Yeah, I think that really helped with the Hounds now. It's like after that such a quick goal, I think you're tasting blood,
Yeah.
It's like they should be wanting to go and really putting them under pressure. But here come Loudoun right back at them right now.
Alvarez.
Oh, bad miss kick
sloppy
there.
ball there as Kerr handed it over uncharacteristically. Under some pressure. This time Forbes makes a pass up to Kerr. Long one for Brett. Out to come get it, the keeper Edwards. Edwards, who saw some action in MLS last year. 5 appearances with Orlando City and the Lions. Thought we might see Callie Brown between the sticks for Loudoun United, the former Riverhound from the 2015 season. He took over that starting role late in that year. It was a pretty good one for Pittsburgh.
Another former Riverhound on the bench, and that's Andy Loudoun, former Wake Forest product from Erie, Pennsylvania. He's in the 18 for Loudoun. As we see Nico Brett getting in behind.
He's on the end of this one from Forbes, who's in distribution mode early. James leads this team in crosses. This time hands off to Forbes, but getting in the way, Elvis Samo.
Yeah, Forbes strange there. I thought he wanted to give it back to James because they play in a 1-2, and I think James thought he was going to get it too, but changed his mind and then got intercepted. But he went out of bounds for the Hounds.
Greenspan distributes to Dover, to Kerr, back to Dover on the overlap. Back in the attacking third is Pittsburgh, looking strong to start. Kerr has a lot of room. Kevin Kerr taking a run and firing.
I think he was a little bit surprised as well because nobody closed him down.
They really dropped deep there, didn't they, Paul?
They kept going and going and realized, boy, we're nearly in the 6-yard box instead of the penalty area.
And no one from the midfield either was tracking Kerr through that. I think
yeah, he looked up and he thought, boy, I can keep on going here.
You see 16 Bustamante, who's one of their holding midfielders there in the middle, and he was running towards the center on the other side of their center back. And that was the area that he vacated that Kerr went right into.
Yeah.
So Loudoun looking a little skittish to start here at a place where no team has beaten the Hounds this year. They're 7-0-5. Here in Pittsburgh, only 2 other teams in the league, as I mentioned in the open, are unbeaten at home. That's Indy at 7-0-4 and Phoenix, which is going for a 14th straight win overall. They're 9-0-3. Bouncing ball in the edge of the attacking third for the Hounds, but they can't pick it up, and Loudoun will try to get it going on the counter. Down 1-0. Griffin Yao on the run. He'll chase this one down. The 16-year-old Virginian Yao taking on James. Gets to the outside, does Yao.
Oh,
crossing, it's a good one. It slid right by. Kerr was the closest body. Carlos Alvarez on the run, but he won't be able to get there to prevent the Pittsburgh
Yeah,
throw.
we see a little bit of the quality of Griffin Yao right there. I mean, a little dip of the shoulder, boom, gives a good touch by, and good delivery, Paul. Just
real confidence too. You know, it's like, come on, come at me, and I'm going to take you to the cleaners. And you could see James was hesitating there because he knew he'd given him this fake and then flew by him on the right.
Yeah.
Great crossing. Somebody should have got on the end of that.
Right. You know, went right at his front foot, really, and went by him.
Alvarez's rip was blocked. Well, if you saw the Open, you saw all three of Griffin Yao's goals in the USL Championship. They're all beauties, and they're showing an eye for distribution as well. I was watching him in warm-up, too. Very clinically gifted, obviously. To be 16 at this level, you have to be.
Well, he was a kid, that really emerged, I think, last year in Florida at the Nike Friendlies, and really was able to demonstrate his quality. Where they're playing some top national teams there, and I think just really solidified his spot with that U17 group, which is a very talented group. And you have the Gio Reynas of the world and other young men who can really play, and most of them are in some sort of professional environment. So
nice
different pathways, but they're all on track to move up the pro ranks.
Thought for a moment that Dover was going to be able to get that ball to Brett near the right touchline. Harry Hawkins, formerly of Penn FC last year, clears this one down. Also of Hofstra University. Hawkins, 26-year-old from England, one of the two center backs for Loudoun. They're going to have to batten down the hatches back there if they have a prayer of getting a point out of this one, with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds already up 1-0. Trying to make it 8 wins here at home this year and stay in touch with that top 4. Pittsburgh's fallen to 6th, just that one loss. It's amazing. They've been so good, but the whole top 6 in the East has been better this year than last season. Tempted ball through from Elvis Amo, relative newcomer to Loudoun. Now picked up in the corner, Orlando Sinclair out of Costa Rica. His cross. Joe Greenspan reaches out.
Sinclair looks dangerous over there. He's got some moves and he can shield the ball really well. Didn't get a very good cross off, but made it difficult for Dover there.
They certainly have some guys that look dangerous up front with Amo, with Sinclair, with Yao. Paul, I think it's a question of not whether they can find them and they can develop some kind of rhythm there with their midfield and with their backs.
Bustamante thought he was getting that ball. Instead, it goes all the way back to Colin Verfurth. Verfurth and Hawkins, the center backs. Alvarez touches it through. Adewale will let it go, but playfully takes a swing at it. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. And about to strike the Select is Morton.
I've just been watching Kerr a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so, and I'm watching that. To me, it seems that he didn't play in the last game, because I see that intensity, desire, winning balls, wanting to make something happen straight away with him. So when he's like that, Gino, he can cause a lot of problems for him.
He looks fresh, doesn't he, Paul?
Yeah.
And Bob Willie has rotated him very nicely throughout most of the season, especially when you're having a midweek game in there. And every time he's had that rest, he's come back very sharp.
Yeah. And I think it's that mental thing with him as well, Matt and Gino.
Yeah.
He don't like sitting out a game, and I know the feeling, and you want to get back in there and really make a difference.
You really do, and and we know Kevin's such a competitor. If he's sitting out, he wants to prove that he shouldn't be sitting out.
Yeah,
so.
Foaming at the mouth.
He only played 70-odd minutes at New York even, so it wasn't even a full game last week that he played. Mertz spinning around and taking that ball right past Connor Presley.
Nice
Fine
shot.
work from Mertz. It's part of the reason why he's in the starting 11 now. Not just the playmaking, but that sort of thing. He was all the way back 10 feet in front of the byline.
Well, we've seen Robbie Mertz cover a lot of ground this year,
Sure.
and he's not afraid to go into the corners, dig out a ball, and he'll make the run off the ball. So transition is certainly one of his strong suits.
Yeah, 1 minute you see him down in one end, and then the next minute you see him up in the top right-hand corner of the other team's end of the field. So his work rate is tremendous as well.
Yeah, and always finding the little pockets, in, in between the lines to be available for the ball. And I think that's one of the reasons why we see him on the ball so much, Paul, because he knows to find the right pockets, the right spots. And it's easier for a player under pressure to find him.
James and Dover have switched sides, by the way.
Which is interesting.
So Dover now covering Yao. I wonder if that has something to do with it, that first chance for Yao. Velarde gets it back from Brett Velarde, too heavy on the attempted through ball to Mertz.
Tough one for Velarde there. He was going the wrong direction and trying to open his whole body up and send that with his left foot. It would have been beautiful if it had got the right pace on it, but couldn't quite get the right touch.
Edwards with the ball at his feet. Formerly of UCLA as well. Throw-in Hounds.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see if it just worked out that James and Dover switched up, or that he's really concerned about Griffin Yao and wanted to put Dover on this left side, because that will certainly change the dynamic of the attack.
James on his left foot. Couldn't swing that one in. Trying again at the edge of the area. Forbes with those choppy steps, bursts past a man. Forbes to the corner, crossing into the 6. Nearly got to Kevin Kerr.
Yeah, I think it hit him in the kneecap in the end, but he just didn't see it. There was a player right in front of him, and it just surprised him at the end, but really couldn't do much with that.
And we saw that little dynamic there where Ryan James flying up the right flank has to cut it back on his left flank, on his left foot, and gets it. Neither one of them are really accustomed to playing on those sides, so it might take a little bit of an adjustment for it. We're so used to seeing Ryan James whip those balls in.
Yeah, really.
It's not even close in terms of crosses. He almost doubles up the next closest hound there.
Oh, nice run there by Mertz, and a great ball from DeSantis.
Oh, great
Speaking
ball.
of crosses, cleared away.
Yeah, Connor Presley did very well tracking Nico into that particular spot.
Flag up.
That flag was up anyway.
It might have counted. Fans, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Hounds or Loudoun United, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores, plus get reminders on the next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Proud to partner with ESPN for a second consecutive year is the USL Championship. Presley volleying it over Dover, and they're calling the foul here against Dover. It appeared that Presley used his leverage to yank Dover away from that ball. Adewale came back to help.
Yeah, that was a different kind of a call there. I thought it was definitely on the Hounds, but it was on the Hounds, but I thought he grabs hold of him here and pulls him back.
Yeah, well, I think Dover's holding with his left arm a little bit.
Sure.
Tried it, couldn't get around.
Okay, we'll give him that one, Gina.
Antonio Bustamante
that's the only one you'll give, I know.
Send in. Paul being generous early. Low ball to the 6. And Dover was there. Brett couldn't hook up with Velarde.
Brett had nowhere else to go. He needed Velarde to get around that player and make a run. And I think he was just telling him that you've got to make that run.
Velarde seeing more and more action lately. Had a bit of a lull in midseason in terms of playing time, but now back in there more often than not, and this time the foul's against Presley. On the collision there with Velarde, the 23-year-old rookie pro.
Who's really, I think, played very well the last 2-3 weeks, and he had a little bit of a lull. He started off very strong, then it seemed his level dipped a little bit, but he's picked it up again and looked very confident on the ball, and does very, very well to out of tight spaces, finding players. So we'll see what he can do tonight.
Dos Santos elevating, and James picks up the second ball for the Hounds. Their 5-game win streak ended at North Carolina last Saturday. That was the franchise's longest since 2004. 5 in a row doesn't happen that often. I don't care which league you're in. So Pittsburgh has surged to this point, but they have to keep it up if they want to finish in the top 4 for the second straight year.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, this is a crucial time too. This time of the season, isn't it?
Good ball from Dos Santos.
He won the ball, then he sent it to Velarde. Oh, a redirected cross ended up being a shot onto Edwards, with Brett again sniffing around just 5 feet away or so.
And great outlet to Alvarez there, but he just really played that into nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah, really.
I mean, you know, not really a constructive ball at all.
Not really thinking about it.
I mean, I thought Edwards did very well to find him quickly, and I thought, you know, maybe we have a little, we're in trouble here, but Alvarez gave it away.
Alvarez, the most veteran Loudoun player tonight, formerly a 2nd overall pick in the MLS. Chivas USA picked him in 2013.
Nice pick up there from Mertz, challenging for that ball. And
so it's Dover on the left flank. It's so weird getting used to him over here.
It really is.
It's weird for him.
Yeah, right. Forget us. What about him?
Yeah, really.
Hey, it's about us. So
that's true. At least this broadcast is. Mertz over to Adewale. Guns it through a gap in the Loudoun formation. Now Dover right back to Velarde. Great one there. Two were in touch. Velarde hesitating, working against Presley 1v1.
Nice little touch to Nico Brett there.
Brett pirouetting. Dover 25 yards out, over the head of Dos Santos. It's not easy to put it over his head at 6'4". Steven Dos Santos has the only goal of this match. Deceptively easy looking one as Brett found him onside, barely behind most of the Loudoun defense. Just 5 minutes into this. What a battle over there. Adewale against Elvis Amo.
Yeah.
Two guys with similar frames, and Adewale gets the call.
Yeah, good.
I think experience won there, wouldn't it, Gino?
Yeah, he really was. And he does very, very well because Greenspan had stepped up and Adewale had gone in behind him. And, you know, so a little bit of a battle here going on. And Elvis Amo has a nice wingspan, I will say that.
Yeah, and here goes Kevin again, coming onto this side there.
His first touch in a few minutes. Kerr gives it off, the 7th-year Hound over to the 2nd-year Hound, Jordan Dover. And Kerr, the Scotsman. Mertz and Dover working the triangle right now are the Hounds. Looking for a run, but now Pittsburgh recycles and switches. Greenspan, who told me this week it all comes down to how we respond to that 5-0 loss, and so far so good in the opening 22 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I like the patience the Riverhounds are showing right now. I mean, just you know, that's something we miss when Kevin Kerr is not in the lineup, because he knows when to take his foot off the gas a little bit and okay, let's control it, because Loudoun was back very nicely. They had, you know, they fell back pretty deeply, and they were pretty organized. So Kevin Kerr wisely said, well, we're not just going to toss it up there. Let's try to sort it out, and they get a corner kick out.
Presley put that off the foot of Toby Adewale.
Loudoun getting a lot of bodies back quick, Gino, too. I mean, they're getting nearly everybody back over the halfway line as soon as they lose possession.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and that's what Kevin saw that, I think, Paul. And decides, well, we're going to try to keep it a while.
Antonio Bustamante, Academy product. Dangerous-looking ball. Took a deflection. Now Morton can't grab it. My goodness. Sinclair punches it wide. Goal kick.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle for Kyle Morton. I think it looked like he got tripped or something as he tried to approach that ball in the air.
Looked like he was swatting flies.
It was.
You'll see it in a minute.
As he comes through, so he gets tangled up with Elvis Amo and really could not get a clean box on that ball.
Amo has been a handful so far.
He really has.
6'2" from Ghana. Looks a little bit taller, in fact, just from the naked eye. Edwards with Dos Santos doing his best Nico Brett imitation. We've seen Nico in that role so often this year. This time it's Steven. And he forced the clumsy clear. Can the Hounds make something of it? It won't happen this time. Yao draws the call. Well, Loudoun gave up the early goal, but working hard for Coach Ryan Martin. He took over for Richie Williams when Williams joined the New England Revolution at the end of May, so Martin is the second coach in this first season for Loudoun.
And of course, Richie Williams rejoins Bruce Arena in New England.
That's what triggered all that. And Ryan Martin was the former head of the academy program for DC United. That was a good-looking ball for a long time. Amo couldn't find it. Now it's Presley to Sinclair.
Oh, great win by Greenspan.
Greenspan, another clear and a blast from the outside by Bustamante. Rejected by the Hounds defense right there at the 18. High one. Morton should have no trouble.
And as you mentioned, Matt, Ryan Martin, formerly the academy director, and so that's why he's familiar with all these young guys, and he knows what they can do. He knows their abilities, and he knows that they need some meaningful games to continue their progress and their pathway.
James on his right foot. Dos Santos was bumped out of the way.
Yeah, it was not. The ball wasn't even close to him either.
Yeah.
Previously, James did a wonderful job to keep that ball alive. Over on the right side. Continue to track these wingbacks for the Hounds. Velarde wanted to get fancy with it.
Yeah.
The problem was Dover was making a break and wasn't waiting for that ball. Fan in the stands just got a ball off the back of the head. That's all part of the experience here at Highmark Stadium.
And takes a bow and gets a round of applause.
How about that? On that one.
He's famous now. And it's over. Presley to Dambrot, Verfuth, I should say. Now Hawkins doubling. He has Dambrot as an option, instead goes to his keeper Edwards. Pittsburgh back on it.
Good quick ball from Riley Mertz to keep it going.
Mertz, the Upper St. Clair product. That's a suburb of Pittsburgh if you're unfamiliar. He's been a revelation this season in his rookie year out of the University of Michigan. It's Morton with it now in the direction of Brett. Flick on. Trying to find his tandem mate, Dos Santos. Didn't happen that time.
No.
Presley rounds the corner, wins the throw.
Did a good job there, Presley, just taking out Velarde. Just went by him like he wasn't even there. A real nice touch. Couldn't do anything with the other ball there.
Martinez made the throw, and now Loudoun switches it up, and they have some room.
Alvarez, good ball to Dambrot.
Dambrot on the run. He'll fire, and Morton has to make a two-fisted save. Rebound available, and it's a goal kick off of Loudoun last. Dambrot, the son of Duquesne University men's basketball coach Keith Dambrot. Dambrot also played previously at the University of
Lucky
Pittsburgh.
Road cookie giveaway.
And he gets the start tonight, and he nearly had a goal.
And of course, originally from Akron, so I guess his dad was coaching there.
That's right. Went to Akron first, and well, you see the long strides. Got a lot of leverage into that left-footed strike. It's his first touch of consequence of the match, and got all the way about 20 yards out before Pittsburgh was able to close on him. Mertz volleys to Velarde. Oh, that's behind James, who's now back over here on this left side, and he will be unable to save it. Will Ryan James, off-season signing from Nashville Soccer Club.
Yeah, not a good ball from Velarde.
No.
And really killed that attack ball, because I thought we had some numbers.
Yeah, this
really
is the first time I think we switched sides, and we had some room. You know, we've kind of like left this left-hand side, kind of forgot about it. We don't have any players out wide at all.
Yeah,
Loudoun's doing a good job. I've got to give him credit, though.
No, they have. I mean, Presley, the wingers, are so far taking those channels away from Ryan James and Dover.
Yeah.
We're so used to seeing them easily going up and down those flanks.
Dos Santos gets that call. He ran right through a couple of Loudoun defenders. And Nelson Martinez is chatting it up with referee Ruska, who gives him the sign to stay quiet.
Yeah, Nelson Martinez, another academy product for DC United. I know he has also spent some time with youth national team camps. So he's another player that they're pretty high on and think he has a future. But the referee saw him knock that one away, and
yeah, you can tell that's a young player because you know, he knew he just knocking it away, waste a little bit of time so his players could get back. But obviously, in frustration, you know, they got the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the referee did, you know, it was good just to see him talk to him that time. But you know, next time that'll be a booking.
You usually get one chance, and then the hammer comes down. Brett, first touch, but a little long for Dos Santos to get on the end of. Tune in to ESPN 3 on August 30th. That's next Wednesday, 7 p.m. for a special, or probably that's next Friday, for a special Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. One of the championship's biggest rivalries takes center stage. Indy 11 heads south on I-65 to take on Louisville City. That's a match very relevant to the Hounds' interests. Again, next Friday, 7 o'clock, Louisville and Indy. Presley, and Hounds double-teamed him there.
James back over here again.
Right. Good ball from Bustamante to find Presley.
Sure.
And it looks like, you know, he's providing more of that width now for Loudoun, and we've seen Griffin Yao move it a little bit more inside, which may be why Bob Lilly switched Ryan James back over to the left. So we'll see how that.
I'd go put this goalkeeper under pressure as really as quick as I could because he doesn't seem confident.
Yao chest this one down, but he was in an offside position before he doubled back for that ball. So the chess match going on here between Martin and Lilly. Bob Lilly in his 19th season managing a pro team. His teams have never missed the playoffs. Looks like that's going to hold up for another year. Assisted by Dan Visser and Hunter Gilstrap, the former Hounds keeper. Yeah, stuck around after retiring as a Hound.
Oh, nice read there.
Odo Santos hunting his second. It's cleared away at the last moment by Verfurth, but Pittsburgh gets its first corner, and as we talked about very early on in this broadcast, the Hounds have 3 corner kick goals this month.
Here we're going to see now a set play that has been working for them, as we talked about in the opening.
Yeah, I mean, Canardo Forbes has some strong targets up there at Wale, Dos Santos, Greenspan. Those are 3 big guys who can get up and head the ball. You see Nico Brett lurking on the goal line, but that one's cleared away.
Outswinger and Harry Hawkins handled it easily. But Forbes gets a second chance. Ball trundles toward the touchline. Kevin Kerr is there on the spot. Wanted to swing it back inside. Blocked down, bouncing away, and scooped up by Abo.
4 against 3 here.
There's Yao on the left side now.
Jogging to it, Griffin Yao. He scored from that angle before this year. Dover helps out James. Dover and James now within 5 feet of each other. The dance continues with the 2
what
wingbacks.
happened there, Matt, was Yo ran width of the field, and James just stayed with him and went with him. You know, make sure that he wasn't going to get open. But young player like that is going to create a lot of space for himself because he's going to make those long runs.
Well, Griffin Yao is, I think, one of the things they really like about him at the next level is his transition. You know, and he's just very, very quick. He has a great motor. He can get up and down. He'll get back. He'll get back and track players, but he's also can push into the attack really well.
Kind of a missed header there from Dover. He put it right to a Loudoun player. That was Amo, and Loudoun gets a free possession out of it now.
Morton should have given him a call there, to be honest with you, Matt, and said, hey, I'm open, give him it back. If he'd just yelled keeper, he could have flicked it right back to him. There was no pressure at all.
Martinez to the end line, but Alvarez not long enough to reach that, especially with Greenspan shielding him off.
And we don't know he didn't call.
That's true. that is true. Maybe it just went unheard.
Yeah.
Number 1 Cochrane's proud to be the region's automotive leader. They continue to invest in surrounding communities, serve local charities, and sell more new vehicle brands than any other auto group around. Number 1 Cochrane, go one better. It seems like it's been a non-stop locomotive behind the field from our perspective tonight. I know it's usually 1 or 2, but whole first half, you have that with the backdrop. That's all part of the atmosphere at Highmark Stadium, of course. If it's your first time watching a match here, Welcome to the broadcast as Presley dances around two Hounds.
Nice ball.
One Loudoun player is injured behind the play, and Dover just got a piece of that cross to deflect it away from Sinclair, who was lurking at that far post.
Sinclair there. He thought he had an open shot there.
Well done from Jordan Dover. But Griffin Yowles went down here on this near touchline. I think when Ryan James went up for that header, he might have stepped on him, but he looks in a little bit of pain right now.
I think, yes, that's exactly what happened. He's reaching toward the top of his boot. Presley's cross for Sinclair.
But well done from Jordan Dover.
Presley's dangerous down his side. I mean, he's doing some great runs, getting on ball and making some great crosses for the offense that should be getting on the end of it.
Oh, well done, Robbie Mertz.
Oh, that's a good ball to Nico.
Yeah.
It's not just defense, but also offense here on the counter.
Dos Santos is coming if he told him.
Nico uses his frame, now slows it down. Dos Santos made a run. Kerr joins the party. Dover, Forbes, Kerr, Dover again. Pittsburgh looking spry here on the counterattack. Right in for Velarde.
Kind of.
Mertz spun around, hammered from behind. Advantage given, or no call at all, in fact. James pressing, and now dishing. Velarde back across the face of goal. And again, Loudoun clears it away.
Griffin Yao back on the pitch, but he's still a little bit looks a little tentative on that leg ball.
Definitely.
Kerr turns this way and that, but the flag is up from assistant referee Bombalski on the far side, so it nullifies the play.
Kerr came from an offside position. I think he was hovering around the back of the players.
We'll have a second look at that Griffin Yao injury.
See right there, I mean, Ryan's coming right over and he looked like he stepped right on him.
Yeah, it was no intention. It was just accident. Yeah.
Pittsburgh on the strength of a 5th-minute goal from Dos Santos now has the ball.
Nice.
Is in front here. He drives that one ahead, but no one home.
He did a brilliant job of turning with the ball with 3 players around him, and then unlucky nobody was out there that he could hit.
Very gifted player. Especially in traffic is Dos Santos.
Oh, corner kick.
Well, that's a gift. Maybe, yes, it will be out for a corner kick. Pittsburgh gladly takes its second of the match.
I think they should adjust this one a little bit more now, because I think Dover didn't get it up high enough last time. He's going to get it in there.
Yeah, and we certainly had some people at the back post, Paul, and so we'll see if Canardo can provide a different delivery this time. Like you said, maybe a little more distance and find some of the big boys in there. I'm still going for the near post.
Low again and near post side. How about Mertz? He's done it once this year. This time slices it.
Robbie Mertz like those little knockdowns. We've seen him step up and really crack a few. So
no hesitation too, Gino. No. He didn't care whether it was 30 yards out, 20, whatever. Perfect for him to come in and take a swing.
Good clearance from Loudoun, and Robbie Mertz takes it off the volley.
Mertz to Velarde. That's handled by Presley. Forbes pulls it back. Canardo Forbes, 31-year-old Jamaican, oldest Riverhound player. Wears the captain's armband once again tonight.
Kerr wide open. Kev.
Hounds broke some lines with that dish. And now Kerr sending it through. Verfurth with a boot on it.
Yeah, not really sure with that clearance, and a little bit lackadaisical, and it allows the Hounds to keep possession. But I think Canardo Forbes wanted that from Kevin Kerr there a little bit early, and Kevin chose to take it outside.
Kevin's got a lot of space in there, and I don't think he realizes it sometimes, because he could have turned there, Gino. He's hit about 15 yards.
Yeah, he did.
Nobody close.
And I think that's where, you know, if he does, Paul, he finds Canardo, and then we have some numbers right in front of goal.
The Hounds' high press so dangerous here at Highmark Stadium. Yields a throw-in. Brett's cross to nobody in particular. But they're forcing Loudoun to work to get this ball out of their own third of the field. Loudoun United on a 4-match winless streak, matches their longest of the year. They started 4 winless. Now on the road for the first time in 4 weeks.
I'd put the keeper.
Edwards drives it away, but a lot of time spent in their own half. Now the visitors creep over the midfield line. Amo hopping 2, but Greenspan got the biggest piece of it. 39th minute now. Dos Santos volleys ahead, and it'll be Brett.
Nico Brett, one-on-one. He should holding it up.
Cutting,
oh, nice
feeding, Forbes.
Canardo.
He's right there, and indecisive maybe. A rare moment for Forbes, where he didn't really know what he wanted to do and tried to correct at the last second. He wanted to go back to Brett, definitely, but he was off balance.
I thought he was just
Here's a through ball, offside. Again, are the Hounds.
I thought he would have just drilled that right into the ticket.
Yeah, it looks like when he came off and it just was a little unbalanced and just kind of lost control of it.
Yeah, you're going to see. And then,
but great ball from
totally
Santos.
Yeah.
And, you know, great run to Nico. And great overlap from Canardo. And then, like, he takes that touch with his left foot and then kind of lost his balance.
Well, Forbes gets a second try. Off the post. Nearly redemption early. Velarde. Right back in. It's a throw in.
Canardo Forbes wasn't off balance on that one.
No.
He's
trying to make up for it.
Yeah, he really struck that one nice and clean and hit
James
the post.
Kerr off the bottom of his boot, right from the penalty spot. The pitch is starting to tilt down to our left. We've seen this happen so many times this year where the Hounds get a flurry.
Space. I mean, Loudoun's midfield is going to have to do a little bit better job of tighten up in there and really making that compact, because their back line is dropping off. It's allowing a lot of space in front of their backs. And their Bustamante and Nelson Martinez are going to have to do a better job picking up the Canardo Forbes, the Kevin Kerrs, and the Steven Dos Santos, because they have a lot of space in there right now, Paul.
Yeah, they do, definitely.
Presley with another good burst. Somehow got the cross off. Yeah! Oh, just off the side of his boot. And he was only about 10 yards out, facing up against the goal, straight on angle.
I'll tell you what, though. No hesitation with him. He sees a situation right here, and this guy keeps sending in great balls.
Connor Presley again, good ball.
That was the perfect thing to do. Hit that on the volley first time, and I got it on target.
Yeah.
We would have caught everybody off guard, and that would have been a goal.
Connor Presley developed in the FC Dallas Academy, actually, and then picked up by DC and Loudoun here. He's been great tonight. But here's Brett trying to show him something here. Line to the cross and away from Brett's head, from Kerr's head.
FC Dallas Academy, and again, another one of the really terrific development academies in the U.S. right now. I mean, they've the players that they put into their first team has been phenomenal, and we're seeing all the MLS clubs putting a lot of effort into that, and it's going to pay off.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, it already has for a lot of the clubs.
Mertz is there.
Just took a long time coming.
Yes, it did.
Missed clearance that time. Greenspan fell down. Rare opportunity there to take advantage of it, but Sinclair unable to do so for Loudoun. Final minutes of the first half. Forbes rang the post just a couple of minutes ago, nearly making it 2-0, but Yao then missed a chance to tie it up right after that. 3 points hanging in the balance, very much so at the moment. Verfurth, pardon. To Edwards. And it's Adewale heading in the direction of Forbes, who pulls away.
That's to, I thought that was to Kerr.
Brett's going to get there, regardless of who it was intended for. And now Kerr finds Jordan Dover, holds up, finds Brett, back to Dover, sliding through, and Dover wanted a call or maybe a better execution from his own.
A terrific sequence, I thought, from the Riverhounds there. Great movement, great ball movement, some good sharp passing.
Yeah, really.
And able to.
Good.
Dover gets through, and nice little layoff.
Just didn't get the touch he needed there.
Exactly.
Bustamante, the saving touch on that ball. Otherwise, Dover is there with a point-blank chance. James the throw in. Ryan James and Jordan Dover, key aspects of this game so far. There's a fine ball across.
Yeah, Bustamani's done really well with the ball. I think he's going to have to, they're going to need some more help from him defensively, though. But he can distribute, and he's been able to find a lot of players wide and into different pockets. It's a great ball.
Rob Dambrot could not connect with anyone on the backside on that cross. Can the Hounds dig their way out? Apparently it was last touched by Velarde, at least according to the referee, Chris Ruska. Yao. Couldn't touch it by Dos Santos, who was the second layer of defense.
Nico got room to do what he wants there and waiting for some help.
Found it in Jordan Dover, who's dispossessed by Sinclair.
Yeah,
Back the other way we go.
I'd like to see Nico play that into space there a little bit, Paul.
Yeah,
he hit it with the outside of his back, and then Dover, you know, it's into Dover's feet, and that's why he was. He struggled, he couldn't really do anything with that ball, but he had space ahead, and then he had to put on the brakes to deal with that.
We've been told no stoppage time, by the way, so we're down to our final few seconds before halftime. Not sure if Presley's aware of that, as he plays negatively to Martinez. Verfurth and Hawkins, Loudoun taking the air out of it right now. They might be playing for the half. Or the boys in red. And faithfully right at the strike of 45 minutes, there is the whistle. So the Hounds strike early, and then Loudoun warmed to the task, as we saw there in the final 30 minutes, especially of that first half.
Yeah, I think both coaches are going to have to make some adjustments and need to make some adjustments. Bob Lilly's going to try to look and see how they can perhaps catch them on the counter and break them down a little bit. And Loudoun's going to have to sort some things out in the midfield, Paul.
Sure. I think the Riverhounds too, Gino, are going to open it up a little bit too, more, go wider and quicker,
And we'll see what does come out of halftime. We'll be back on ESPN Plus for more.
Special thanks to Cornerstone Television.
At Moe's, we've always been real Southwest. And we're proud of it. It's in our name after all. And we've always been real people, using real Southwest flavors, making real Southwest eats. And we've always built everything right on the line, fresh, just for you. Real, fresh Southwest. Welcome to Moe's. Try Moe's new Moho chicken, made with all-natural chicken breast and a refreshing citrus sauce.
All right, that's enough, you two. Don't paint your brother. No, you can't eat the clay. What can I say? Moms just know. I'm Christine Sorensen, and as a mom, I know parents know a lot. But for the few things we don't know, there's Kidsburg, your go-to resource for all the great things in our area for kids and families. Everything from kid-friendly events, creative learning, and help for parents. It's every Wednesday on KDKA TV, emailed to your inbox and online at kidsburg.org.
Okay, we hear you. Due to popular demand, #1 Cochran Nissan's 3-store supergroup just added store number 4.
Introducing #1 Cochran Nissan Cranberry and grand opening offers at all 4 stores. Lease the all-new Altima from just $209 a month or 0 APR for 3 years plus $2,000 customer cash and $1,000 extra for trades at #1 Cochran Nissan now.
Well, these USL Championship clubs would be nothing without their supporters groups. We know it very well here in Pittsburgh with the Steel Army reigning supreme down to our right in the Paul Child stand. They've enjoyed what they've seen so far through 45 minutes with their Hounds ahead of Loudoun United 1-0. Here's more from the USL on that and much more. We'll be back in just a bit from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oldby charging on, curling the cross.
Quickly to Watson. Watson going to take a shot. Oh, my.
That is sensational from the Irishman. Plays it across. And finds the one-hit attempt.
Welcome into episode 13 of Steal Some Time. We are going to start over in the East and chat a little bit about North Carolina hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds this week. And I think that we can easily say that nobody saw a 5-0 outcome, at least in North Carolina's favor, coming out of week 24. But let me tell you, North Carolina stuck it to the Riverhounds, shut down that unbeaten streak that they had going. And really, I mean, they dominated play, outshot Pittsburgh 13-5, 8 shots on target as well, which is fantastic. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, didn't have a single shot on target, and I think that's obviously a major difference maker. North Carolina looked good, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, the same week Austin Deleuze announces his retirement, he then goes and dedicates a 5-0 win over Pittsburgh to the Oak City supporters.
So cool.
Definitely didn't play out how I thought it would.
Right.
And I think that I speak for the vast majority of fans around the championship who just kind of looked at that and said, what the heck's going on with Pittsburgh?
Elsewhere ahead in week 25, I don't know how much longer we can talk about Phoenix, but they're giving us no other choice. They're back for another dollar beer night, and this time they're hosting Sacramento. And I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say that this story's different. As good as Phoenix's backline has been, I think this is the biggest chance all season that Phoenix is going to have a run for their money on Dollar Beer Night, going for 15 straight wins.
Are you calling I won't make you go out.
No, I'll call that. Yeah, I think this is it.
They're going to lose or draw?
I think
I was just going to let you say that the win streak is snapped.
I think the win streak
She's
is
visually
snapped.
hedging right now.
Yeah, I see the bullets, the little beads of sweat just starting to she can feel the heat here. She feels the pressure. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to call it. I think the L comes.
That Steals Some Time, the regular podcast on USLChampionship.com with Kelsey Steele. Here, we're talking Hounds and Loudoun United, 1-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. After 45 minutes, I'm Matt Geika with Paul Child and Gene Klein. Thank you for watching tonight on ESPN+. Let's go around the league as we usually do, and you just saw some clips from Phoenix rising again. Amazing. Phoenix with 13 on the trot, going for 14 tonight, the only other match in the USL Championship on this Friday, as they battle Sacramento Republic. Meanwhile, in the East, the Hounds just beat Red Bulls too, but resilient are the Baby Bulls. As you see there, they beat Nashville to move 4 points clear in the Eastern Conference. And this would be how it would look at the end of the night if the Hounds do hold on. So there you see they can move up a spot. They can get ahead of Indy 11. But now, look at that. Indy has the games in hand. Yeah. So the priority is you still have to keep piling up the points if you want to stay in the top 6.
Yeah, I think it's really important these last games now. It's that time of the year where you've got to start accumulating the wins and going into the end of the season here.
And remember the levels here. Gene, top 4 get a bye and a home playoff game. 5 and 6 get a bye, but they start on the road. And then 7 through 10 play that play-in round. The Hounds play on Sunday the last week of the season, too, so they don't want to play that play-in round. That would be really tough.
They do not. For sure, Pittsburgh and Indy 11 want to get in that top 4. That's the area that you want to be.
Here you see the Wednesday night soccer schedule. I referenced it. It's on Friday next week on ESPN3. Louisville and Indy 11. The Hounds and their fans will be looking at that one very closely. 2 teams that are jockeying for position there in that top 7, or top 8, if you will, in the East that's so tight. And then out west with Las Vegas and Phoenix. Who knows? Phoenix could still be on a win streak at that point. St. Louis battling for a playoff spot. They'll be featured too. And back out west in October. Yes, we're already looking ahead to October. Still about 6-7 weeks left in the USL Championship regular season, but we're into the final third here. So urgency has definitely gone up, and we'll see that with both this and also the Hounds' future matches. And they have a couple of more coming up here, does Pittsburgh, after Ottawa next week. It's Louisville and Charleston in here. So more opportunities, and we'll talk about what we just saw on the other side of this break on ESPN+.
Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public.
Should have been a cowboy.
Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour 2019.
Red Solo Cup.
Friday, September 27th, 7:30 at Highmark Stadium with special guests Clay Walker and Gabby Barrett. Toby Keith.
Whiskey for my man.
On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Trusty Entertainment. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour.
The Riverhounds are looking to stay unbeaten at Highmark Stadium when they return to Pittsburgh on Saturday, September 7th. It's college and back-to-school night when the Hounds take on Louisville City FC in a 7 p.m. match. The first 1,000 fans will receive free Thunder Sticks, courtesy of Image 360. Gates open at 5:30, dollar beers until kickoff. Find out more at riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
How do you turn you have cancer into you had cancer? You have us. Which means you have CAR T-cell therapy, your own nurse navigator, innovative surgery, a panel of pioneers. Everything it takes to help more patients turn you have cancer into you had cancer. If you have cancer, you have us, the AHN Cancer Institute.
Pittsburgh searching for its 10th win in 14 games. Loudoun's trying to win for the first time in 4, and the visitors are hanging on right now. They're hanging in there, in fact, very well, considering that they allowed a goal early on in the first half, as you're about to see on our first half highlights tonight on ESPN+. And very close to an offside play, but Dos Santos times his run perfectly here, not long after that opening whistle tonight. You're about to watch Nico Brett loft one for Steven Dos Santos. And flag stays down, and he does well because that ball hopped up. I'm looking at that replay now. That wasn't the easiest finish in the world.
It was a great touch to really prepare it and put it on goal, and good timing of the run, too. And you could see Loudoun just a little switched off for a little second there.
They were kind of looking around, waiting for something to happen. It didn't happen, you know. And there was a good opportunity for Curry, got carried away and had that open space.
Yeah, another similar example where they're dropping pretty deep with their back line and allowing some space for Pittsburgh in the midfield.
Scrambly corner kick.
Yeah.
Loudoun had one of them, and that led to a nervous moment or two, with Kyle Morton struggling to get a grip on this one.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy there.
Elvis Amo was in the mix. This was Dambrot from way outside.
Yeah, forced Morton to just really bat that one away. Really couldn't handle it, and caught him a little bit by surprise, but great strike by Dambrot.
And again, the Hounds scramble to the ball. They force the turnover, and this is the closest they got to the second goal.
Yeah, Loudoun very lucky there. Again, dropping way off, dropping deep, no pressure on ball in the midfield, and we see Kerr before. We see Dos Santos, we saw Canardo Forbes all come up with some pretty good opportunities, and this is one by Griffin Yao, off of a good delivery from Connor Presley, who's done very well coming up that right side.
No, that was a great cross.
Greenspan with his hands in the air. He was upset about the back line allowing Griffin Yao to have a look from there. He has 3 goals in 9 matches, and, well, you need some luck in this game sometimes. There you see it. The first half stats, shots, not a very shot-heavy half, in fact. Just 8 in total. They tacked on 1 more to the statisticians after the end of the first half. It's still just 5-3, 1-1, so the keepers haven't been terribly busy so far outside of a couple of scrambles, and the possession, almost a toss-up, too.
Yeah, it really has been. And again, I think the key for DC has just really been a few lapses, Paul. I mean, they've played pretty well. They certainly are good with the ball. They have an idea how they want to play into the attack, and they just have to sort a couple things out defensively.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting the way they start again this second half, and hopefully, I'm guessing that the Hounds are going to go high pressure right away, Gino, and try and create another opportunity real quick.
Yeah, they've been very successful with that.
Yeah, we saw that against Swope Park last time out. They put the pedal down and got 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes against the Sporting KC development squad. Coming up after this match, it's all independent clubs for Pittsburgh, and the competition gets more challenging at Ottawa. It's a long trip up there, and Ottawa's playing well in the playoff zone. Then back home, but it's Louisville and it's Charleston, 2 teams looking to make the postseason, probably will, and another 2-match trip, this time down to Tennessee. So that's why this match, these 3 points, seem even more critical than usual because of that upcoming schedule.
Oh, yeah, definitely, Matt. I think this is a critical time. They've got to get as many points under the belt as they can and keep it going, and this is the time to do it. This is closing to the end here.
And not many home matches either after that Charleston game. The final stretch for the Hounds is pretty road heavy. Loudoun, well, they played a lot on the road early before they opened up Segra Field, so they'll get a chance to go back home. Hey, Birmingham Legion, I got to give them credit. They've surged back. They're 10th now. They were almost dead last when the Hounds played them 2 months ago. But for Loudoun, kind of more of a mixed bag. They'll have to take on Hartford on the road and Beth Steel on the road. But
yeah, but they have some winnable games there, I think, Matt. I mean, Carolina's the only one really in the top half of the division, and Hartford, as we know, has struggled as a first year. Birmingham has gotten a lot better, and we see some improve. Memphis, we know, and that is struggling a little bit, and Steel is not at the level maybe they were last year.
Loudoun is 9 points out of the playoffs right now with a third of the schedule left. They have games in hand on most of the teams they have to catch, in fact, but it'll take a heck of a surge here. Positive thing for Loudoun, Gene, was to see new Segra Field opened up a couple of weeks ago.
It looks like a terrific
beautiful
complex.
soccer specific.
Really great atmosphere. They've been drawing some great crowds, and it's a terrific step for DC United, which ultimately will be their first team training ground and everything. And I think they've substituted Griffin Yao, and maybe that little
out,
knock that he had with Ryan James late in the second half, they decided to pull him out.
So call it a 46th minute sub. Andrew Loudoun, the former Riverhound, last year was a Hound.
Yeah.
He's playing on that right wing side where Griffin Yao was lurking in the first half. So that step on the foot from Ryan James proves to knock the youngster out of this match.
Yeah, shame about that, really. I would like to have seen him a little bit more because he's very skillful and fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure, maybe it's a precautionary thing. They don't want to take any chances. So hopefully that's all it is. And they're just, they have an experienced player like Andy Laban who can come in, and there's not going to be a huge drop-off. But, we hope Griffin Yao's back, and I'm sure the under-17 coach, Raphael Wicki, feels the same way, So I'm sure it didn't look like anything major, but he did get stepped on. So hopefully it's, like I said, precautionary.
Presley clipped Mertz, so the Hounds get a restart here. 2 weeks ago, it was a couple of goals early in the second half that pushed Pittsburgh on to victory, eventually hanging on to beat Swope Park Rangers 3-2. That was a tie score at the half. Brett puts a good weight on this ball over to James. Forbes turns this way in that. Canardo Forbes. As usual, deliberate when he has to be, decisive when he has to be. Greenspan and Adewale as the Hounds dish it across the back. James through ball, and again, an offside flag is up. The fourth one against Pittsburgh in this match.
Yeah, Loudoun's got it really compact in the back, Gino. They're in the middle of the park and a lot of red shirts.
Well, as we said, Paul, maybe, that's one of the things that Ryan Martin saw, and they feel they had to correct at their halftime talk and sort out, because they were giving Pittsburgh a lot of space there in front. So they certainly need that a little bit of compactness, because we saw our midfield of Mertz and of Forbes and Kevin Kerr, Dos Santos having a lot of space.
Yep.
Dover will send this toward the spot. Headed away, but not all the way out. Kerr turns and serves, and it's partially blocked. And skidded out into touch, just barely. Alvarez had the final boot on it for Loudoun. Kerr gets it back. Kevin Kerr creating another chance here. Dos Santos could not get over the top, though, on Colin Verfurth. Given away. Velarde back against the grain.
Boy,
and
he had Robbie
not in a good
Mertz there,
spot.
He just rolls that back right
Wow,
through.
yeah. I mean, he did such a good job winning the ball off the Loudoun defender and then kind of wasted it. And he's being told.
I think
Canada.
Elvis is getting the talking to. And
Elvis Amo, a little too aggressive on that challenge with the ball in the air against Toby Adewale, the Pittsburgh center back.
Whoa.
Almost thought we might see a card come out for that one. That was a lot of force.
Yeah, he's kept his cards in his pocket and trying to talk through this, which I think players and coaches can appreciate as long as it's consistent. And
that wasn't a dangerous play. I thought that was going to be a free kick.
Thought so too.
So did Jordan Dover.
So Loudoun gets the restart, but
Yeah.
Sinclair has a sloppy touch, and Greenspan steps up. Dover to Dos Santos, using the arm, and he's felled by Martinez. Dos Santos has the only goal of this one, at least so far. Pittsburgh working on a second here early in the second half. Trying to win for the 8th time at home, trying to stay unbeaten at home. Velarde has a seam, pulls to the right. Dover's cross was blocked down by Sinclair. Still free in the Loudoun end.
Nice little roll back to Sinclair.
Sinclair switches play, and there's that man again, Presley.
Yep. He's looking for. He's going to go try and get on the end of this one too if he can cross it.
Yeah.
Loudoun, Bustamante, Verfurth, Martinez, and now Hawkins. Right up the gut with it. Alvarez on the ground. Sinclair playing Dambrot. Strong cross. Kyle Morton.
Yeah, much better from Loudoun there. Really connected a few passes together. We're able to start it from the left side, switch the point of attack over to Presley on the right side, bring it back into the left, and get across. So I think that's the tempo they want to see, and really some sharp passing and connecting a number of players, Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
Driven ball from Morton, but here comes Loudoun United. Loudoun, look at him go, the former Hound. Loudoun into the area, and he just missed tying this game.
Boy, wow. Great run by Andy Loudoun, and he was in. It just
he did a great job there, Gino, and it was unlucky he didn't put that one away.
Yeah, he's a little bit upset with himself. He didn't put that away, Paul.
Yeah. Challenged two players and then
takes
left
on James and Adewale and breaks through. Greenspan can't get over. Morton had a pretty good angle, but still better strike, and it's 1-1.
Also, Elvis Amo was there too if there was any kind of a rebound or maybe a deflection off the post. Loudoun just showed a little more want-to than the Hounds in that situation. Had some awareness that there was an opportunity to go for it.
Loudoun doing a real nice job here, Gino. Just keeping possession, making some great balls through and opening the back up. And here comes Presley again. You're going to see him get the ball, I think.
Yeah, he's really pushing up high on that right side.
He wants it, but Alvarez wanted to go up the gut to Amo, and it's picked off. Mertz got a toe in. Kenny Forbes to Nico Brett on the run, the former Robert Morris University star. Latches on it in the corner.
Oh, what
looking
a great
for his
goal.
second assist of the match. Chested down Velarde, pulls it down, tried to go square to Dos Santos, my goodness. And it was intercepted.
Why wouldn't you shoot? Oh, dear.
That's the height of unselfishness, but I mean, you got to be a little more selfish in that area, don't you think? I mean, and plus, I don't know what the Santos are going to do with that anyway. I mean, he's like,
No,
no, he has to put that on frame.
No, he's got to take a shot there, Gino, as quick as he can. He was on his left foot as well, which is left-footed dominantly. And
Presley, not much on that one, but Morton goes to ground to secure it. A couple of saves for Kyle Morton. A couple of missed chances here in this opening 7 minutes of the second half. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. This one's getting interesting.
Yeah, it's opened up real early here in the second half, hasn't it? It's been end-to-end so far for these first 7-8 minutes.
Mertz blocked out by Martinez. And yes, a yellow will come out from referee Chris Ruska. Nelson Martinez, the 18-year-old from Virginia, sees yellow. These are two of the least carded teams, as I invent an adjective, in the USL Championship. Hounds have 27 yellows. That's the fewest in the league. And Loudoun now just with 32 after that one to Martinez.
Yeah, just steps in front of him. And of course, Martinez was he just had been talked to earlier.
Right.
There's
always more context, or usually more context to that situation.
Kerr
cuts in on Martinez, looking to make the youngster pay. And Dos Santos blasted right through Verfurth.
Kerr recognized that really well. I mean, Martinez had to come out, a good way, and Kevin waited till he put on the brakes and then just touched it by him. So again, shows that experience and that awareness of what that situation. Find that pocket a little bit behind Martinez, and just a little bit off connecting.
Hawkins going to let this one ride. Fans, you can follow the Hounds and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, already home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus. Watch the championship live every week. Greenspan takes a tumble. Elvis Amo is on the trot. Amo to Sinclair, turning, wanted to play it to Loudoun, who's suddenly a key player in this game. But it was intercepted. Now Mertz on that loose ball, gave it to Velarde. Velarde back to James.
Nice ball to Kerr. Kerr making some space for himself there really well.
Kevin made himself available.
Oh, that's a good run.
It's all about
too.
the run, and this one is onside. Anthony Velarde just had that glorious chance inside the box when he chested down the cross. And while falling, makes the play to James.
Did brilliantly there. I don't know how he got that touch off, but
James did well, working against two Loudoun defenders. Pried it free to Forbes. Shot right on to Edwards, and rebound spilled briefly and
nobody
shortly.
Following it in there, Matt.
So Forbes has hit the post, and he's had another long-range shot.
Yeah, when you look at we can really recognize that very well, and just is able to. Edwards has a hard time. That thing was knuckling on him. Hard time holding on to that.
Forbes with those 7 assists that we highlighted in the broadcast open, but also has one of the better shots on the squad. And just usually in more of a distribution role. Sometimes he plays deeper in the midfield, but he seems like he's always involved when something good happens for the Hounds. Sinclair.
Oh, that's a good ball.
Into Amo. Big collision ball available. I didn't hear a whistle.
Nope.
Morton down on top of it. Amo went cartwheeling through. James was involved in that car accident, really.
Yeah, Morton made his mind up and he was coming, and lucky nobody came out of that injured.
Oh boy, James could have gotten a boot to the face. Very nearly did.
Wild on Elvis's part there.
Yeah, it could have been a dangerous play, easily called, as he looked for the chance.
But he is a handful, Elvis Amo. A little bit unorthodox at times, but.
Oh, nice touch by Kerr now. Looking for that cross.
He's got a couple of Hounds in the box. Instead, lays it back. Forbes has James. Forbes wants the middle. No, he doesn't. Working there against Martinez. Turning him this way and that. James to Kerr, who's backpedaled. Ball off a body and turned over.
Yeah, watching Loudoun's back line there, Paul, and they were stepping up, and we had, and that's why we couldn't serve it in, because they stepped up really well as a unit, as a line, and we're catching our guys offside, and so then we had to step up with them. The Riverhounds had to step up with them, and it was very well organized.
Who wants it? Robbie Mertz does, off Bustamonte's defended cross, or ball in, I should say. Hawkins moves it quickly all the way back to his keeper. Nearing an hour. Still just the 1 goal on the board. James with a great step up.
Great opportunity here, 3-on-3.
Pittsburgh's been so dangerous in these situations this year. Kurz goes for the top corner. Just got under it a tad.
Great idea, great vision. He saw the keeper way off his line and got the right touch on that. That one just a nice little chip over the top of him, but couldn't get it to come down.
Now that looked promising.
Lachio pick his head up. You see his, and he said, okay, I'm going to have a go. And just a little bit too high.
More placement than power on that shot from Kerr. Kerr is just 1 goal away from second place on the franchise's all-time list.
And it looks like Loudoun's going to have a substitution here, and we're going to see a young 15-year-old named Moses Nyman.
He's seen quite a bit of action lately.
Who will be coming into the match, and great to see him play. Another one of their academy players who has spent some time with our 03 national team.
Nyman will replace Martinez.
Oh, what a job by James.
James is going to find this ball. Ryan James closes. Wins the corner kick against Andy Loudoun.
I thought he was going to get in a situation there where he could get a shot off, and he was just very unlucky. He didn't get quite what he needed, the right bounce.
So the sub will happen. Fans, the USL has unveiled its elite youth program. Speaking of academies, this is called USL Academy. It allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop their local youth and compete at the highest level across the U.S., including the USL Academy Cup. Go to uslsoccer.com/academy. Well, Martinez, Nelson Martinez is hurting. He is reaching for that right shoulder. And there is Moses Nyman trotting onto the pitch. Youngest player we've seen in a Hounds match this year, I know that much. At 15, couldn't even get his driver's license, just the permit. Remember those days. Got to ride with your parents. But Nyman has cashed in this season already. He's opened his account in the USL Championship.
I'm sure his parents are driving him to practice.
Here he is.
But he's
trying to defend this corner kick. Punched away.
Well done by Edwards.
And Nyman gets right into the mix here against Mertz. Mertz has to do all he can to get it away from him. Brett trying to lean in against the youngster.
Yeah, as you can see, Moses right away not hesitant to mix it up at all with Mertz or any Riverhounds. So
I'm sure when you're in practice, Gino, and you're that age, you get the older guys and older players always taking shots at you,
Well, he's a kid, Paul, that's has some experience at the international level. And he's like I said, come through their academy, very skillful.
Kerr off the misclear from Hawkins. Couldn't make Loudoun pay that time. And a Wale. Okay. Nearly 45 yards out.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Toby has a couple of goals, but they are from very close range this year, both off set pieces. And another substitute, this time on the home side. Velarde will check out. Sammy Kasai will make his way in. Another rookie for rookie midfielder in this situation. Kasai a little bit more defensive by reputation. Played at University of Maryland, Baltimore County up until last fall.
Well, Velarde's had maybe a little bit of a mixed bag here, Paul. I mean, he's had some good moments, but he's missed a few passes and had several unforced errors. I don't think it's his best performance of the year by any stretch of the imagination. And I thought earlier, as I said earlier, I thought he's been playing pretty well the last couple of weeks, but I think this is one of the things that they're trying to get out on, a little more consistency.
Sure, and that's what they need from him for sure. And
long one, Morton absorbs with a Mo again making a run.
I think he was in a couple of great opportunities too that he should have made the right decision, or a better decision, let's say that.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it. So Bobby sees that and he says, okay, let's get somebody else in to try.
Bustamante looks for Loudoun, who looks over his shoulder, Willie Mays style, looking for that ball, and could not corral it on the river side of the pitch.
Willie Mays style.
Yeah. Remember that catch? I don't remember it personally, but I've seen the replay.
In Pittsburgh, it's Roberto Clemente style. You know?
Okay.
Loudon
Fair
put some
enough.
pressure on us here,
Fair enough.
making it very difficult to get some opening players.
Pinned to the touchline now are the Hounds.
Oh.
James DeBrett, and again, Loudoun's taking advantage of some nonchalant play, and Morton slides out.
Yeah, Kyle Morton quickly off his line there to take care of that one, and I think that was the right decision. He had to do that because, as you said, Matt, you know, a little bit lackadaisical there in the back and allowing Loudoun some space.
Loudoun's working hard as the second half substitute. Gets a clean slate at the start of the second half.
I'll tell you one thing with Elvis up there is that they have to be aware of where he's at, because you know, if they catch him on the right break, he's trying to play off really high off the shoulder of Adewale and of Greenspan, and if the Hounds aren't alert and there's not a pressure on ball, and because he's breaking every time, and that could be dangerous.
Feels like Loudoun's playing pretty confidently right now. They know they're right in this one. Sliding tackle from Dambrot, took it away from Kevin Kerr. And now Nyman sprays it along. Verfurth. Presley.
Haven't seen Presley for a while. It's finally just got back into it again. I'm surprised he came back with the ball instead of taking the player on.
And Antonio Bustamante slows the pace down. Verfurth steps up for the first time in this match.
Oh, well started.
Alvarez dispossessed. Play continues up to our right, but given away.
Yeah, poor giveaway. I think the Hounds have to do better. They have to connect right there,
Yeah.
you know, and a little bit more patience. We saw some of that, and I know that they want to get that second goal awfully bad, but as we said earlier, I mean, Loudoun's done much better with their back line as far as keeping them organized and dropping off at the right time.
Oh, yeah. They got three up front as well, waiting for these balls.
Yeah. Yeah, Loudoun pressing up very high with
Presley always in the mix somewhere.
Nearly sneaked in there against Adewale. Did Presley.
That's a great pass.
Great ball. And he's onside too.
It'll hop through to Dos Santos, sending Brett too strong.
Again, a little bit not quite on the mark there. He just needs to get that ball a little bit more wider, and I think it'd been a fantastic chance for Brett.
Loudoun in a wrestling match there with Ryan James. Both stay on their feet, and the ball comes back in the possession of Pittsburgh and Canardo Forbes.
This is where we've got to catch Loudoun when they're pushing like that. We keep. We've got to be much more precise with our passing and opportunity. Because here's a good pass.
Delayed switch. Kerr sending in, and Dos Santos was there at the spot one more time. This feels like a two-goal night in the making for Dos Santos, but it hasn't come to pass yet. He scored 5 minutes in. Presley appeared to nutmeg Adewale there on the step up. Or pardon me, that's Sammy Kasai, I should say, freshly into the match.
Paul, back to your point earlier, I think I totally agree with you. I mean, I think there's some opportunities that the Riverhounds have had on some counters, and they're just not connecting that final ball, or you know, playing a little bit behind players, and they're going to have to take advantage of that because
Loudoun's going to keep pressing.
Yep.
Under these Friday night lights at Highmark Stadium, can the Hounds keep it going? They lost for the first time in 6 matches last time out, last Saturday at North Carolina. They're in position here, but still just one shot away from a tie score.
Yeah, and Loudoun's going for it too, Matt. I mean, you know, we see, you know, Sinclair, Elvis Samo, Andy LeBon, they're staying up really high on our back four and forcing them to make some decisions. And you mentioned earlier, Elvis Samo is a threat. He's right even with Adewale and with Greenspan.
Yep.
So one little lapse for the Hounds, and you know, that could be dangerous. So especially with a 1-goal lead.
We've had a couple of 1-0 results recently here at home, both in favor of the Hounds, against Bethlehem on the 4th of July and against North Carolina FC a couple of weeks after that. Kerr and Mertz can't connect.
Yeah, that's kind of like that into that final third again. Just can't seem to connect with the right person.
Here goes Moses.
Yeah. Oh.
He slices through traffic, doesn't he? Alvarez to a Mo. Mo spins down James. And it's going back the other way. And it's more than that. It's a card to Elvis Mo. I didn't see that coming. Neither did he.
Yeah, I didn't.
Thought it was just a battle for the ball.
I think the referee saw something that we couldn't from this distance.
Could be.
You know, kind of clipped his back of his heel or something.
Well, we'll have a chance to wind it back as usual.
With great little ball from Moses Nyman. Elvis brings it back. Yeah,
he clipped his, got his foot caught.
And did he push him down too? And that's the other thing. So
a pair of yellows to Loudoun in this match. Mo and the since departed Martinez.
Looks like we've got another sub coming in for Loudoun again.
Yeah, another academy kid. Yeah, Christian Sordo.
Sordo has been on the USL Championship highlight reel recently. As Bob Lilly said this week, when I stopped by practice, you switch off for a moment and they can score a wonder goal on you. So it's just like against Swope Park 2 weeks ago. And Pittsburgh just barely kept it alive. Nyman ran into trouble. Here come the Hounds now. Dos Santos! He showed patience, but he couldn't finish it off.
He was looking for something, and it really wasn't happening for him from his other two players, and they were closing him in, so he had really no choice but to get it on his right foot and try the shot.
We haven't often seen Dos Santos running free. He's usually the guy getting served too, but that time he had the opportunity to run the show, and he decided to take a look and let it go. So here is Alvarez out, Sorto in. Christian Sorto, 19 years old, from the state of Maryland.
Yeah, another academy kid. He spent a lot of time with the Baltimore Armor Academy before moving over to DC, which is another topic. Oh, there he is.
Mo toward goal. Greenspan's going to have some time to slug it away.
Morton really mistiming that one. I thought he had
came a long way for that one, unnecessarily, you know.
Yeah.
Continues to be airtight here in Pittsburgh.
But we see Elvis Mo again breaking free. I mean, and winning that header.
Just a trialist for Beth Steele last year was Mo. Played earlier this season in the Czech Republic. In fact, before Loudoun brought him over. Nice little pickup for them mid-season.
Yeah, he is a guy that I'm sure Dave Casper and Benny Olsen were taking a look at.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And seeing, you know, when's he going to be ready, and can he continue to develop and give the first team a little bit of help.
Sordo gets his first touch. It's with the noggin. Now Nyman with a deep ball. It fooled out of Wale for a moment. And Loudoun pressing three attacking players up, make it four with Sordo. And Sordo will handle this on the restart.
Oh, came off.
I think it was off a Loudoun player.
Yes,
no, it was not.
It was?
I thought it was, but
I did too. I know it was. I think the referee missed it.
That's the head referee's call in that quadrant of the field. Chris Ruska says it belongs to the guys in red who are still battling, still fighting. Despite the 5-11-5 record, 14th place standing, they've looked better than that tonight. I know that much.
They're doing very well. They've had a very strong second half, I think.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
They look as solid as any squad that's come in here in the last several minutes. Sordo, Dambrot. Sinclair pulls away from Greenspan. Sinclair looking to bend it inside the post.
Greenspan getting turned there pretty easy and then losing his balance and couldn't catch him up again.
You don't see that much from last year's all-USL first teamer, Joe Greenspan, but beaten by Sinclair.
Look, goes down.
21-year-old Costa Rican has 3 goals, nearly a fourth there. A strong move.
Yeah, Sinclair just couldn't really get it around, but did very well to spin off of Greenspan.
Loudoun gets his foot around it. Amo working against 3 hounds, and he gets the foul call. Appeared justly.
He's drawn defenders. He's drawn a lot of attention.
Yep.
And when that happens, you know, can that open up some space for Sinclair or Loudoun coming through into those areas? So, you know, the Riverhounds are going to have to make sure that they stay organized.
Bustamante inside the 18 with that, but Greenspan clears. Team leader in that category. As you might expect, 6'5", former Navy man. Hawkins, good little header there. Sinclair's in space. Sordo makes the run, cuts twice, and fires, and it's blocked.
Greenspan's pulled something. He's limping around here.
He is in some trouble. Sammy Kasai saved the day with the block shot.
Yeah, he really did. A great little move from Christian Sordo.
I saw him right there.
Sinclair finds him, a little cut back, boom. Yeah, and Kasai and Dover were in there scrambling.
Athletic trainer Tim Smith heads out to check on Greenspan. And remember, no Thomas Vankiazil available tonight, so no Swiss Army knife for Bob Lilly to just slap back in there, as he's done so often when players check out, especially on the back line or in that part of the field.
We see Bob talking to Danny Rivera, so we'll see if they're going to have to make that switch.
Rivera more of a wing-back type player, smaller player, quick.
I think he might go out wide, don't you? And maybe one
might have to put Dover in the middle.
Probably in the middle with him.
We've seen Bernardo Forbes play some back as
yeah,
well
we
this
have,
year.
Matt.
Yeah.
So maybe
that would be probably the better choice.
We have the opportunity. Remember that #1 Cochrane sponsors tonight's broadcast. It's proud to be the region's automotive leader. They invest in surrounding communities, serve local charities, and sell more new vehicle brands than any other auto group around. #1 Cochrane, go one better. It's going to be a corner kick for Loudoun. Greenspan being ushered to the sideline.
Pound's got to be awake here.
Back post ball, headed down, and Steven Dos Santos, the forward, 2 feet in front of the goal line. Cleared it. But it's Sordo back into the mix with it. Bouncing toward the byline again and held. Sinclair has proven to be a handful. And fine play to hook up with Bustamante. Dangerous ball. Adewale heads it laterally, and Kevin Kerr's there.
Nice job by Kevin there, and find a player.
You had Mertz. Mertz got a hand in there against Sordo.
Sordo
bursting past Dover, and yes, the whistle will sound. The advantage was lost.
I think Greenspan's going to try and stay in the game. They're going to hold off on Danny Rivera.
Okay, it appeared to be a left leg issue, maybe a left knee, left quad, or a hamstring. It was hard to tell for Joe Greenspan, but he's back in. Rivera is still receiving instruction from Bob Lilly, but it might not be needed right now.
Might be good that he just got back in for this, because Loudoun's putting some pressure on here, Gino, and they've got to really tighten up here and make it very difficult for them to get on the end of this cross.
Bustamante, he's the man on set pieces for Loudoun, but down to both knees was Kevin Kerr there to get rid of that.
Yeah, not the delivery Bustamante wanted. I mean, couldn't really get past that first defender, and certainly had some guys making some runs in.
Presley scared the box for a moment, but Adewale closed. Nice crowd on a Friday, 4,078. I believe that's just the second time we've crossed the 4K barrier this year, the opener and this one. Oh, wow, Dover trucks right through Dambrot, and that'll be a booking. Not sure what Jordan Dover was thinking there, but the Canadian back is about to see a card. After a short lecture from Ruska.
A yellow card has been issued to the Riverhounds, #5, Jordan Dover.
So bravo to the fans, fittingly on Supporters Week.
Yeah, terrific crowd today.
Love it.
And hope to see a lot more of this, these types of crowds for the rest of the season.
Well, it's one of the better showings from the Steel Army in their section. Maybe they're just recruiting more Army members. Getting some more infantrymen and cavalry.
We were kind of wondering at the beginning of the game, weren't we? There was
Right, it was
nobody in
looking
the
really
stands.
sparse. How about that? Second biggest crowd of the year after all that. Sordo. Amo. Sinclair volleying twice.
Handball, yeah.
Sordo did well there. Brought it down with his chest, played it out wide to Danbrook.
Danbrook crossing over, stepping over, and sending in Sammy Kasai. Holds down that side of it. Pittsburgh hasn't had much of the ball in the last 10 minutes. Dos Santos will change that.
Does well there. He knows two players around him. He's just got to hold it up, and he takes advantage of it and cuts away with a throw in a real tough situation.
A defensive substitution coming on for Pittsburgh. Mohamed Dabo, the Senegalese defensive midfielder,
in for
will
number 10,
replace
Kevin
the attacking midfielder Kevin Kerr. Dabo in his second Hounds season. Back to health after fighting through a hamstring issue for a couple of months. Kerr's out. He gets the customary hand when he's removed early at home.
Yeah, again, like you said, I think Bob really just wants to lock it down now with about 12 minutes to go, and Mo Dabo's the kind of player in the midfield that can cover a lot of ground, breaks up a lot of plays, and we'll try to really stabilize things in the midfield.
A win would get the Hounds into 5th in the Eastern Conference. They were as low as 14th this year. That's the spot that Loudoun currently occupies. Miss kick from Morton. Amo puts it right back to the back line.
This is what I don't really want to see, Gino. They don't want to see, I'm sure, Bob Lilly in these last 10 minutes or so, taking wild kicks, and they've got to still keep their composure and play the ball and make it work for the team.
Yeah, at this stage, Paul, it's the younger Loudoun that has shown a little bit more composure and cohesion than the team is fighting for a top 4 spot. So obviously, like a sub like Mo Dabo, we want to lock it down and correct that. But they also, I completely agree. They need to keep the ball a little bit more and get a little rhythm of play, and maybe make Loudoun chase the game. And for the last 20-30 minutes, it's been Loudoun making the Riverhounds do all the work.
Yep.
Bustamante pressured by Brett, and then James forces the turnover on the far side. Mertz running too. And coughed it up in the center of the pitch.
This is what I'm talking about, Gino. That kind of a waste. Why don't you just stand on that? There's nobody around.
And James is making that run up the left flank there, and Nico decided to come out here to Robbie Mertz. I mean, if he plays that diagonal ball, I mean, Ryan James is in.
Yeah, just hesitant decisions, kind of.
Not the Hounds' best effort on the counterattack. I know that much. They've had some moments where it's bogged down on them, and that's atypical, especially at home, where they tend to make the right decisions.
They've had their moments, where they've and obviously Loudoun needs a goal. They're pushing some numbers into the attack. They're left a little bit exposed at the back, but the Riverhounds are not taking advantage of that.
Not at all.
But really impressed with how Loudoun has come out in the second half, and you can see their attacking shape has been very, very good. They're providing some good width, but they're also
taking it to the hands. I mean, they've really taken it to the hands.
They're finding some width, but they're also finding the strikers, like you see Sinclair and Amo up there, and they've been dangerous.
Loudoun has more shots on target too, 3-2. Shots are in favor of the Hounds overall, 9-8. And it's felt that close. Presley, that ball was out.
Hounds working their way down that left-hand side with 3 throw-ins right now, and hopefully want to try and keep it in the Loudoun's end for a while.
Dos Santos trying to chest it down. Cape Verde native. Picked up by Brett. Making a run is Nico. It's clipped, and it's going to be a goal kick. Boy, it looked like it was a penalty kick point.
I thought the way he came out with that arm, he was going to point to the spot, but then I saw him to the goal.
So did a lot of the Steel Army and a lot of the fans.
I was looking at his arm, and it just didn't look like it was aiming at the spot.
Yeah, well, it was such a demonstrative point that I thought,
exactly.
Why would you point like that if it were just a goal kick?
Yeah.
But it turns out.
But it was decisive.
Boy.
It was very decisive, so we can't get on Ruska too much. Nearly getting in behind Amo again.
Again, no easing up here at all. They're going to have a tough 8 to 10 minutes here. if with the extra time.
Pittsburgh pries it loose.
But now you could do something about it, and that's more like it.
Yeah.
So Robbie Mertz learns his lesson from the last time up the field. Possibly. He might have heard somebody else down there. Oh,
but that Greenspan.
Reckless ball from Greenspan right through the legs of Sinclair, who was turning away from it, so he couldn't pick it off.
If he
imagine Sinclair's surprise.
A little bit, he has, you know.
Yeah, imagine his surprise when the ball goes right through his legs as he's running away.
Yeah, I think Greenspan was just looking for a make. That's all. You know,
obviously. From 20 yards out.
Could have been a costly one.
Can you find him? You know.
Final several minutes in Pittsburgh. Loudoun has pushed and pushed and pushed, but unable to get that goal.
Yeah, they've been knocking on the door.
And Pittsburgh hasn't lost consecutive games all year. They haven't lost at home. The streak's on the line. Well, right now they want to get the win. Forget any kind of unbeaten streak. It's all about the W now.
Yeah, it's all about the 3 points. That's what they need. And, you know, when we look at the schedule of the upcoming games, they definitely have to have this one.
Yep. I've got to give credit. Loudoun, a totally different team than I expected to see. And they've really took it to the Hounds in the second half and done a great job. Coaching staff and the players.
I think out of the 3 MLS development teams we've seen in the last couple of months, this is the most impressive of the bunch.
Definitely.
Cohesion and ability to keep the consistent level of performance. Damrod backed off.
They
keep it.
Tweaked some things tactically at halftime, made a couple adjustments, and it's really worked, and it's turned the game around. So kudos to Ryan Martin and his staff and this young group of players.
They're 3-7-3 on the road, but you wouldn't know it to look at them right now. Who's that off of last? Apparently Jordan Dover gives Damrod a shove. Dover being called over. Remember, he already has a yellow card in this match.
Yeah, this player pushed him in the chest, I think, and they're just having a little pushing
Time to
match.
sort it out, right. And we're all set to go once again. Players were arguing over who's going to get the throw. Yeah, there was some shoving on both sides.
Give a
corner kick, Loudoun.
Got to be alert here, the Hounds. I'm really want them to be. They've got to be really sharp. This team's really pressing.
Yeah.
Sordo to take it. Oh, and he went short and low. I thought he scuffed it.
Yeah.
He'll get a second chance regardless of his intent.
Yeah, Andy Loudoun snuck across the goal there. You know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of I think it was behind Cal Morton, and they looked for him. And there's another one in that same spot.
Boy,
volleyed over by Amo.
And you know, 2 low-driven balls, and you know if that's by design too, Paul, because I mean, you know, they're not going to beat the Greenspans and the Adewales and those guys in the air.
And right there, you could see that went right across the goal mouth, and it just needs somebody to get in there with a toe and deflect that.
Morton picks a good time for his best goal kick of the night. Back in on Edwards with Steven Dos Santos in the frame.
That looked a little more dangerous than it really was.
He didn't get quite the bouncy one.
I think they had that one under control, no problem.
It is a softer surface, but not that soft where that was going to land to Steven, who scored 5 minutes in from Nico Brett. That's been it, obviously, if you see the score bug at the top of your device screen. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. It's a white-knuckle ride here in the second half. Close calls on both sides. Nothing terribly dangerous recently.
I'll tell you the other thing with Loudoun is they've made a number. Their substitutions have done very well. I mean, they put in sort of the young boy, the 15-year-old Moses Nyman
and he's playing in the middle at the back.
I can't even imagine him in an under-16 league. So it's like done very well. He's coming dropping deep to try to find the ball, try to distribute it. You know, he's. I've seen him pointing out to a couple players to pick guys up. You know, it's that's great to see.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful switch of play by Brett, and Dover has room to run. Dover played for Guyana in the recent Gold Cup. Dabo and Mertz hemmed in.
Good
Kept it
job.
alive. Dabo. Dover. Offside.
It must have been real close there. It looked it.
That had all the makings for a moment. Two pretty good touches from Dabo, who hasn't seen the ball, or hadn't seen the ball until then. Bustamante, as the Steel Army revs it up, trying to get this crowd of 4,000 to urge the Hounds over the finish line.
You can see the wonderful technical ability of this young guy, Moses Nyman. I mean, so comfortable with the ball, Paul. Just reading it and look very fluid.
Presley hands it over. Pittsburgh gladly takes that. Brett, his foot on the ball.
Oh, great pass.
Kasai.
No.
Onside.
Onside.
James making a run. James laying it in, but Hawkins has an easy time with that. And Presley
keeps it in. Does
well. That's a significant play. Sinclair.
Yeah, not a good one from Sinclair. Yeah, Sinclair, Loudoun was on. He could, if he breaks that line.
Oh, great shot.
Brett's going
That's
for goal.
Oh.
Just on top of the net.
Very unlucky there. Smart play. He caught him way off the outside the box.
5 years ago, I saw him do that at Robert Morris from midfield and nearly did it again in the pros. This was from behind the midfield line.
Behind. That was Beckham-esque right there, man.
Yep.
Wow, that put a rise into everybody. Scoreline maybe 1-0, but don't let that fool you.
Now that was Hounds ball again, and linesman and the referee are really not on it.
We're hearing from the fourth official, Kervin Moon, that 3 minutes of time will be added on, as we are now into the 90th at Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh, PA. Hometown Hounds trying to do it again.
Yeah, Danbrock
reached in, and it'll be Forbes blasting ahead. Hawkins.
Fans calling for a handball there.
Thought it was a handball myself. So did Dos Santos. Men in blue didn't think so, but that's a wasteful ball, and Pittsburgh gladly takes that. Yes.
Loudoun doing all they can to press in this in the Pittsburgh half of the field, and they're gonna put it all out here these last 3-4 minutes.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They've good job by DeSantos there.
Showing off the ability to win possession.
Oh,
Mertz to Dos Santos. Will he have a go? He's got one already. Gives it across, and it wasn't a great ball to Brett.
It was not, but great recovery by Connor Presley to win that one.
Mertz, 2 sliding tackles and a third as he falls out of bounds.
Again, 3 minutes stoppage time.
At least makes Loudoun come the entire length of the pitch with it. 3 added on, as indicated.
Keeper looking to give it to somebody.
Earl Edwards Jr. gave it about 4 looks before he finally lifted one into the left attacking quadrant for Loudoun. Dan brought another throw. Bustamante a settle. Santos keeps up the work right now. He'll peel off. Hounds get everyone behind the ball.
Yeah, Hounds dropping really deep, just trying to protect the 1-goal lead.
This one's up for grabs for a moment, but Kyle Morton easily there ahead of Sinclair.
I think it'll be very contentious to try to lock this down and come out of here with a 1-0 win. Because the most important thing at this stage of the game, as we talked about, is 3 points.
It's 3 points.
I'm sure they feel they could play better, but 3 points is what matters.
It really is.
James finds a way to get behind that one. Adewale. Aerial one for Brett. Leans in again. Brett misfired there, but Greenspan will be able to find it. Nothing's coming easy tonight for the Hounds.
No.
Except for that first goal. It was deceptively easy, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, we saw that a couple weeks ago too, where you just got that early goal and were able to almost play it at a speed there. almost in
Greenspan
cruise
again.
control, I guess. You know, is what I was thinking about.
Dabo turns it upfield. Mohamed Dabo running to the corner now, as you might expect, with Christian Sordo providing resistance. Dabo to Mertz. Robbie Mertz slicing through. Ball toward the 6. Nearly got through to Dos Santos.
Yeah.
James. But here's Loudoun with it for Loudoun United. Maybe final 30 seconds or so. No guarantees. Oh, Greenspan comes up lame again, reaching over for that one. He's staying in this ball game. Loudoun. Dambrot.
Yeah, not much time. I mean, Loudoun's going to have to really.
Bustamante, they'll need something to fall their way. Won't be that header with Brett helping James. Back to Ryan James. Dabo.
I like
Deep one. He is
still going.
Making a sprint. Time has expired in Pittsburgh. The Hounds survive this one. It wasn't the prettiest, it wasn't the cleanest, but it's 3 points. Hounds win 1-0. They have now won 6 of their last 7. They remain unbeaten at home. They move to 8-0-5 here at the friendly confines of Highmark Stadium. And a coach's talk afterward between Ryan Martin and Bob Lilly. A lot of respect, I'm sure, being shared there.
I'm sure there really is. I mean, Bob Lilly's telling him what a great job he's done with this young team. And they made it very, very difficult for the Riverhounds in the second half.
Well, we'll step out here and bring it on back for the highlights. There you see Kenny Forbes just resting, absorbing what we saw. We'll do the same in just a moment.
What do you call it when Western Pennsylvania's largest automotive retailer begins selling the region's most popular brand?
Chevrolettionary, which also describes our grand opening offers.
Introducing the all-new #1 Cochran Chevrolet, where you'll find a special 2-year lease on a sporty Trax from just $99 a month. The unequaled Equinox as low as $139 a month, plus $1,000 extra for trades at the all-new #1 Cochran Chevrolet.
I should have been a cowboy. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour 2019. Friday, September 27th, 7:30 at Highmark Stadium with special guests Clay Walker and Gabby Barrett. Toby Keith. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Trusty Entertainment. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour.
Unseasonably cool here in Pittsburgh, but the temperature was turned up for about 90 minutes at Highmark Stadium. It's weird how that works. We're all sweating it out, and you know the Hounds and their fans were. And you see some Loudoun United fans, in fact, made the trip. Good to see that, too. Not too bad of a ride out here, less than 4 hours. Let's look at the highlights, and the only goal of tonight's match came just 5 minutes in. Deceptively easy is what I said late in the second half. It felt like it was going to be a different kind of a night, but it just goes to show you, don't judge a match by the opening 5 minutes. And here it was, Brett lobbing over the top, Dos Santos making the run, and, well, the Hounds were off and running. They looked like they were ready to put away Loudoun early.
Yeah, definitely. They looked really comfortable, and after that goal, everybody perked up and everybody was working a little bit hard to keep in possession. But then, Loudoun switched things around, got a couple of chances, and changed it up.
I think it took about 15 minutes or so, but then after that, final 75, ballpark it there, it was a very tight match. Forbes hitting the post. That one goes in, who knows how this match turns out.
A second goal would have made it a lot different. And we can see the space again with Canardo Forbes, and we saw that a lot in the first half, where the Riverhound midfield had a lot of space in front of the back line, and we see a great chance there by Griffin Yao, the youngster. But second half, Loudoun changed some things around and really were the better team in the second half, Paul.
Great opportunity right here.
Yeah, Andy Loudoun on that.
Andy Loudoun. I mean, he was did a great job getting away from the defenders and just didn't get the right play on the target.
There were opportunities for Pittsburgh here. Forbes from about 20 out, but
not a problem for the keeper, really.
No trouble for Edwards, who made 2 saves on the night.
And again, this is another one of the counters that we had that just really, close, but not quite there. Sam was trying to get that. There was a couple that the Riverhounds had that, again, could have put the game out of the way. Sinclair just missing for Loudoun. So they have to be pleased with what they saw from the second half. I think for the Riverhounds,
this was
you
a
could
great
see a little
try.
bit of their. Yeah, that's a great. That's a great one there. But I think for the Riverhounds, you saw a little frustration on their face at the end. They know that they have to play better than that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think I think it's still really important that they come away with a win, after getting beaten in the week and pretty badly. So it's still really important for them to come out with 3 points for sure.
Yep. Pittsburgh improves to 12-4-8, back into 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Loudoun now 5-12-5. Well, gentlemen, not like I said at the close, not the cleanest, but I get the sign of a good team is also that you are able to win these matches when you're not at your best.
Yeah, it really is, Matt. I think that's a key thing. I mean, that's what Bob really is looking at. In a tight race like this, you have to win some of the games where you're not on the top of your form.
Sure, definitely, and you got to take them when you can get them.
Well, the Hounds will be back in action next Friday at Ottawa. Next home match, we'll be talking to you in 2 weeks' time, Louisville, on the 7th of September. Good night from Highmark Stadium.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.